Most people talk about dating apps like they all work the same way. But after spending time reading real user reviews, analyzing dating app behavior reports, scrolling through Reddit discussions, and looking at retention and engagement data from platforms like Business of Apps and Statista, the biggest thing that becomes obvious very quickly is that Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge are not really competing for the same type of user anymore. They may all technically be dating apps, but the experience, expectations, user behavior, and even the type of attraction that works on each platform are completely different. And that is why so many people fail simply because they are using the wrong app for the kind of attention they actually want. What makes this more confusing is that most advice online treats dating apps like a universal formula. People keep repeating the same generic tips about better photos, smoother bios, and confidence, but very few people explain how differently users behave depending on the platform itself. A profile that performs extremely well on Hinge can completely fail on Tinder, while someone getting ignored on Bumble might suddenly get consistent matches after changing almost nothing except the environment they are using. And once you understand how these apps are actually being used in 2026, a lot of modern dating behavior suddenly starts making much more sense. The easiest place to start is probably Tinder, because Tinder still dominates global dating app recognition and remains one of the most downloaded dating platforms in the world. According to Business of Apps and Statista reports, Tinder continues to have one of the largest active user bases, especially among younger users and casual dating audiences. But what most people notice after using Tinder for a while is that the app no longer feels like a place where people slowly get to know each other. It feels more like speed dating mixed with social media attention loops, where profiles are judged almost instantly and attention spans are extremely short. That changes everything about how profiles succeed on Tinder. The platform rewards immediate visual impact more than depth. And because swipe behavior is so fast, users rarely spend much time analyzing details. Most women on Tinder are not sitting there carefully reading long bios or deeply comparing personalities during the first impression phase. They are reacting emotionally to energy, vibe, confidence, clarity, and overall presentation within seconds. That is why Tinder can feel brutal for average users, especially men who rely too heavily on normal photos without understanding how fast the app moves. A decent-looking person with weak lighting, awkward framing, or low-energy photos can become almost invisible very quickly because Tinder's entire ecosystem encourages instant reactions. According to multiple user behavior analyses discussed by Business of Apps, Tinder users swipe at extremely high speeds compared to other dating platforms, which means attention is incredibly difficult to hold. At the same time, Tinder also creates a strange illusion. Many people think they are failing because they are unattractive, when in reality, they are simply using a platform optimized for fast dopamine reactions instead of slower emotional connection. And that is exactly why so many users eventually migrate toward apps like Bumble or Hinge after feeling burned out. Bumble became popular partly because it marketed itself as a calmer and more controlled alternative to Tinder. The biggest difference most users notice immediately is not even the feature where women message first. It is the overall energy of the app. Bumble profiles tend to feel more socially polished, more lifestyle-oriented, and slightly more relationship-focused compared to Tinder's fast-paced atmosphere. A lot of users describe Bumble as the app where people care more about presentation than pure excitement. Profiles that perform well there often feel emotionally safe, socially aware, and organized. Career details, travel photos, friend group pictures, clean backgrounds, and stable lifestyle signals tend to matter much more on Bumble because the app attracts users looking for something that feels a little more intentional. According to surveys reported by Pew Research and various app usage analyses, women consistently mention safety, comfort, and emotional predictability as major factors influencing online dating behavior. And Bumble quietly benefits from this psychology. That is why many men who fail on Tinder suddenly perform better on Bumble without becoming more attractive. The platform itself changes what people prioritize. On Tinder, raw attention matters first. On Bumble, emotional readability matters more. A profile that feels chaotic, overly aggressive, or too focused on impressing people can quietly lose value very quickly on Bumble because users there often interpret confidence differently. But the most interesting platform right now is probably Hinge, because Hinge has gradually positioned itself almost like the anti-swiping dating app. The phrase "designed to be deleted" may sound like marketing, but the app genuinely pushes users towards slower interaction patterns compared to Tinder. On Hinge, people spend more time looking at prompts, reading answers, analyzing personality, and reacting to specific pieces of content instead of instantly swiping based only on appearance. The ability to like individual prompts or photos changes user behavior in a very important way because it creates micro-conversations before matches even happen. That is why many average-looking users report significantly better experiences on Hinge compared to Tinder. Personality has more room to breathe there, but not in the unrealistic way many people imagine. Physical attraction still matters, but Hinge rewards emotional texture more than raw visual speed. And this is where a lot of dating advice online becomes misleading. People often say things like, "Just be yourself," but the reality is more specific than that. Different apps reward different versions of you. Tinder rewards fast attention. Bumble rewards emotional stability and lifestyle signaling. Hinge rewards personality presentation and conversational curiosity. That also explains why users often get frustrated when they copy the exact same profile across every app and expect identical results. The platforms are not built around the same emotional environment, so identical profiles create completely different reactions depending on where they appear. One thing that becomes especially obvious after reading hundreds of real user discussions is that Hinge users tend to tolerate imperfection more than Tinder users, as long as the profile feels authentic and socially intelligent. A slightly awkward but funny answer on Hinge can actually increase attraction because it creates individuality, while the same energy on Tinder may simply get lost during rapid swiping. Meanwhile, Bumble exists somewhere in the middle. It still values appearance heavily, but users there often care more about whether someone feels dateable long-term rather than simply visually exciting in the moment. And then there is the algorithm side, which most casual users underestimate completely. These apps do not distribute profiles equally. Engagement matters. If your profile creates weak early reactions, visibility can gradually drop over time. Tinder especially has long been associated with ranking systems connected to user desirability and engagement behavior, even though the company no longer publicly describes the system in the same way it once did. The important thing is that strong first impressions matter more than people think because they affect both human reactions and algorithmic exposure. A profile that gets paused on longer, interacted with more, or matched consistently gains momentum over time, while weak engagement quietly reduces reach. That creates a frustrating cycle where people think they are becoming less attractive when sometimes the app itself has simply stopped showing their profile aggressively. And honestly, that is one of the biggest truths most people eventually realize after using dating apps long enough. Success is not only about attractiveness anymore. It is about platform compatibility. Some people are naturally built for Tinder's fast attention economy. Others perform much better in slower environments where personality matters more. The biggest mistake most users make is trying to optimize themselves for every app at the same time, instead of understanding what kind of environment actually matches their personality, communication style, and dating goals. Because once you stop asking which dating app is best, and start asking which dating app actually fits the way people naturally experience you, the entire online dating experience suddenly becomes much less confusing. Thanks for watching. Check the links in the description for exclusive dating app offers, premium features, and extra profile tools that can improve your results while also supporting the channel. Subscribe to Top Review IO for more real dating app reviews, profile psychology, and modern dating strategies. See you in the next video.